Hey, hi everyone, welcome back again to these classes. Soy Cecilia Chávez y el día de hoy daremos un repaso general de las lecciones estudiadas en este tiempo. Yo sé que muchos estaban esperando la lección 4, la cual les comenté la semana anterior sería acerca de la temperatura y los numerales. Pero, en mi opinión, creo que es más importante reforzar esos puntos gramaticales y de vocabulario técnico que hemos estudiado hasta el día de hoy. So now, here we go. Review Units 1, 2, 3. Hasta la fecha hemos estudiado 3 lecciones en cuyo contenido hemos aprendido diferentes temáticas y vocabulario técnico relacionado a contextos de la carrera de Ingeniería y Arquitectura. Además, hemos adquirido las bases de estructura gramaticales que nos han ayudado a complementar dicho vocabulario para su mejor desarrollo. Ahora, vamos a repasar cada una de ellas a modo de reforzar aquellas dudas que en su momento no fueron comprendidas totalmente. Así que, acompáñenme. Objective. The purpose of this lesson is to consolidate what has been learned so far and to clarify any doubts acquired in any of the lessons. Lesson 1. The most useful metals. If you remember, we had said that metals are dense, lustrous elements that are good conductors of heat and electricity. Most metals are malleable and ductile and are in general denser than the other elemental substances. During the lesson 1, it was studied 15 of the most useful metals of the periodic table and their uses. Let's remember each of them and please practice the correct pronunciation. Number 1. Iron, magnesium, chromium, nickel, cobalt, copper, zinc, lead, tin, aluminum, American spelling, aluminum, British spelling, mercury, gold, silver, platinum, and uranium. What did we study in grammar? In grammar, let's have a review of the verb to be in affirmative, negative, and question form. Look at the following table. Simple present verb be. Affirmative. I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, you are, we are, they are. In negative sentence, I am not. You are not. He is not. She is not. It is not. You are not. We are not. And they are not. In interrogative, we say, am I? Are you? Is he? Is she? Is it? Are you? Are we? Are they? In contracted form, am, your, his, she's, its, your, we're, their. Contracted form in negative. I'm not, you're not, he isn't, she isn't, it isn't, you aren't, we aren't, they aren't. Examples with the verb to be. In affirmative sentences, the party is tonight. Eric and Daniel are university students. In negative sentences, the party isn't tonight. Eric and Daniel aren't university students. In questions, is the party tonight? Are Eric and Daniel university students? Ain't. We also studied the use of ain't in negative sentences of the verb to be. And it was said that the use of ain't is not correct in formal English since it is an English slang. And it is never used in a conversation, but today many people do. It is a colloquial, informal use, that it is the verb to be in the place of its versions, is, are. It is in negative sentences. Let's take a look at the following examples. I am not kidding. I ain't kidding. They are not telling the truth. They ain't telling the truth. This is the end of Lesson 1. Let's move to the Lesson 2. Lesson 2. Properties of matter. Now it's time to move to the Lesson 2. For this lesson, we were able to learn more about the properties of matter. For this lesson, we were also able to practice adjectives in order to describe physical characteristics. So let's move to the review now. Remember, all objects take up space and have mass. You use your sense of taste and smell to tell the difference between spinach and an orange. We said that physical properties are the measurement of mass and other characteristics that can be seen without changing how the object looks. When you look at oranges, you know that they are oranges because of their color, shape, and smell. Mass, color, shape, volume, and density are some physical characteristics examples. We said that density is an important physical property. Density is the mass of a substance per unit volume, and volume is the amount of space an object occupies. We also said that chemical properties are properties that can only be observed by changing the identity of the substance. What did we study in grammar? What are adjectives? Adjectives tell us something about a person or a thing. What do adjectives modify? Adjectives can modify nouns or pronouns or names. Example, in person. Mandy is a careful girl. Mandy is careful. She is careful. In things, this is a nice car. The car is nice. It is nice. Where do adjectives go? An adjective can be put after the verb to be. This is called predicative position. Example in person, the girl is careful. Example in thing, this car is nice. An adjective can be put before the noun. Then it is an attribute. Example in person, Mandy is a careful girl. Example in thing, this is a nice car. Can adjectives be used without nouns? Yes, adjectives can be used without nouns. Mind the definite article the. Example, the rich, rich people. Here is an example from the fairy tale Cinderella. The good must be put in the dish. The bad you may eat if you wish. Here is another example with nationalities in the plural. The Scottish live in the north of the United Kingdom. In this lesson, we also studied the possessive adjectives, and it was said that they are used to show possession or ownership of something. The possessive adjectives in English are as follows. Subject pronoun, I. Possessive adjective, mine. You, your. He, his. She, her. It, its. We, our. You, your. They, their. This is the end of Lesson 2. Let's move to the Lesson 3. Lesson 3. The environment and natural resources. For this lesson, we were able to review some important facts about the environment and natural resources. The environment is an important issue even when society is facing with economic crisis, wars, and undenying social problems. It matters because Earth is the only home that humans have, and it provides air, food, and other needs. In grammar, we studied the simple present tense in affirmative, negative, and question form. Here we go. A natural resource is something that is found in nature and can be used by people. Earth's natural resources include light, air, water, plants, animals, soil, sun, minerals, and fossil fuels. People need some natural resources to stay alive. They use others to make their lives better. Every place on Earth has its own unique group of natural resources. Some countries have lots of oil and diamonds. Others have minerals and thick forests. Natural resources are everything that is provided for us by nature. They are not made by man. They can either be renewable or non-renewable. We call it a renewable resource if it grounds again or comes back after we use it. A non-renewable resource does not grow or come back, or it takes a very long time before it is replenished. What did we study in grammar? Here we study the simple present tense. The simple present tense in English is used to describe an action that is regular, true, or normal. We use the present tense for repeated or regular actions in the present time period. Examples: I take the train to the office. The train to Berlin leaves every hour. John sleeps 8 hours every night during the week. For facts: the President of the USA lives in the White House. A dog has 4 legs. We come from Switzerland. For habits: examples: I get up early every day. Carol brushes her teeth twice a day. They travel to their country house every weekend. And finally, for things that are always or generally true. Examples: it rains a lot in winter. The Queen of England lives in Buckingham Palace. They speak English at work. Verb conjugation and spelling. We form the present tense using the base form of the infinitive. In general, in the third person we add the letter S. The spelling for the verb in the third person differs depending on the ending of that verb. Examples: I, you, we, they speak, learn English at home. He, she, it speaks, learns English at home. Rule number 1. For verbs that end in O, CH, SH, SS, X, or Z, we add ES in the third person. Examples: go, goes, catch, catches, wash, washes, kiss, kisses, fix, fixes, buzz, buzzes. Rule number 2. For verbs that end in a consonant plus letter Y, we remove the letter Y and add IES. Examples: marry, marries, study, studies, carry, carries, worry, worries. Please note, for verbs that end in a vowel plus letter Y, we just add letter S. Examples: play, plays, enjoy, enjoys, say, says. Negative sentences in the simple present tense. To make a negative sentence in English, we normally use don't or doesn't with all the verbs. In affirmative, for example, you speak French. In negative, you don't speak French. You will see that we add don't between the subject and the verb. We use don't when the subject is I, you, we, or they. Affirmative example: he speaks German. In negative, he doesn't speak German. When the subject is he, she, or it, we add doesn't between the subject and the verb to make a negative sentence. Notice that the letter S at the end of the verb in the affirmative sentence, because it's in third person, disappears in the negative sentence. Negative contractions: don't, do not; doesn't, does not. Example: I don't like meat, or I do not like meat. There is no difference in meaning, though we normally use contractions in spoken English. Examples of negative sentences with don't and doesn't. You don't speak Arabic. John doesn't speak Italian. We don't have time for a rest. It doesn't move. They don't want to go to the party. She doesn't like fish. Questions in the simple present tense. To make a question in English, we normally use do or does. It has no translation in Spanish, though it is essential to show we are making a question. It is normally put at the beginning of the question. Examples. Affirmative sentence. You speak English. Question. Do you speak English? You will see that we add do at the beginning of the affirmative sentence to make it a question. We use do when the subject is I, you, we, or they. Another example. Affirmative sentence. He speaks French. Question. Does he speak French? When the subject is he, she, or it, we add does at the beginning to make the affirmative sentence a question. Notice that the letter S at the end of the verb in the affirmative sentence, because it is a third person, disappears in the question. We don't use do or does in questions that have the verb to be. Examples of questions with do and does. Do you need a dictionary? Does Mary need a dictionary? Do we have a meeting now? Does it rain a lot in winter? Do they want to go to the party? Does he like pizza? Now it's time to do the activities.